Okay, so let's get right into it. Another major Next.js release is here, and if you're a developer, you know exactly what that means. It's that familiar feeling, a mix of excitement and, let's be honest, maybe just a little bit of dread.
I mean, this just hits the nail on the head, right? It's a feeling that you hear all over the developer community. Just when you think you've got it all figured out, you've mastered the APIs, the patterns, bam! The ground shifts under your feet again. It can be exhausting just trying to keep up.
So the big question is this just more chaos? More churn for the sake of it? Well, what we're going to do here is cut through all that noise, because Next.js 16 really isn't just a random grab bag of new features. It's actually a super targeted response to two of the biggest headaches developers have been dealing with: brutally slow build times and a caching system that was, well, let's just say confusing.
So first up, let's talk about something we can all relate to. The productivity killer that is just waiting. Waiting for your project to build. Waiting for that hot refresh to kick in. It's the kind of friction that totally pulls you out of your flow.
And the big solution, the main event here, is TurboPack. You've probably heard of it. It's that super fast Rust-based bundler. But the huge news is that it's now stable, and more importantly, it's the default. That means you get these massive performance boosts right out of the box, with literally zero configuration needed on your part.
And here is the proof in the pudding. Now, these aren't just some glossy marketing numbers from a perfect world scenario. No, this is data from a real-world migration of an actual agency website. This is what it looks like in practice.
And this chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? Dropping from over 11 seconds to just over 4. That is almost 3 times faster. And it's not just about saving 7 seconds here and there. It's about staying in that creative zone, that state of flow where you can iterate quickly without that annoying little pause that breaks your concentration.
All right, let's move on and tackle that second major pain point, which for many has been a total black box: caching.
I mean, if you've spent any time with the app router, you've probably felt this pain. The old model, where fetch requests were just cached automatically, it was a huge source of confusion. You were never 100% sure what was static, what was dynamic, or why your data wasn't updating when you thought it should.
So Next.js 16 completely flips that on its head. It introduces this simple new directive: use cache. And what it does is make all caching completely opt-in. It's explicit. You are back in the driver's seat. This simple line of code gives you all the control.
A static blog is the perfect example to see this in action. Think about a component like a sidebar. You know, the one that lists your post categories or popular articles. That thing rarely changes. So now you just pop use cache at the top of that component's file, and that's it. You're done. Next.js will cache its output and serve it instantly, even if it's sitting on a totally dynamic page. It's a game changer for predictability.
But as is often the case, progress like this comes with a price tag. To get these awesome benefits, the speed, the clarity, you're going to have to navigate a couple of pretty significant breaking changes when you decide to migrate.
And here it is. This is the big one. This is going to touch pretty much every single Next.js app out there. Accessing things like route parameters, search params, even cookies, it's all fully asynchronous now. So wherever you used to just grab a value directly, you're now going to have to stick in a wait in front of it.
And on top of that, there are a few other little hurdles to keep in mind. You have to be on at least Node.js version 20.9. You'll need to rename your middleware.ts file to proxy.ts. And a big one, if you've got a bunch of custom Webpack configs, you need a plan, because TurboPack is just going to ignore them by default.
Okay, so that all brings us to the million-dollar question for you and your team. With all the good and all the gotchas, does it make sense to upgrade your project right now?
This little framework here can really help you make that call. Basically, if you're starting something brand new, or if your build speed is a constant source of pain and your setup is pretty straightforward, yeah, go for it. It's a no-brainer. But on the other hand, if your app is leaning heavily on custom Webpack stuff, or you're right in the middle of a critical sprint, it's probably smarter to just wait a bit.
And just to give you a real sense of what that effort looks like, remember that agency site we were talking about earlier? The whole migration process for them took about 4 hours. That's from start to finish, including all the debugging and fixing those async API changes.
You know, when you zoom out, this update is about more than just a faster bundler or a new API for caching. It really makes us ask a bigger question about what we do every day. It's all about that fundamental trade-off we're constantly making in web development. How do we balance that need for a stable, predictable foundation with the exciting pull of these powerful new tools that promise to push our work and the entire web forward?